Yo, this is Jay from Straight Smoke Gaming, and in today's video, we are doing the NFC East predictions video. If you guys don't know, this is a new series that I got that I'm going to be working on here. I've already made the AFC one. That'll be linked in the description. We also have a playlist where I'm going to be doing all of the divisions. You can find them all in the 2023 season predictions playlist. So go ahead and check that out if you really like this video and you want to see the other ones like that. There won't be many, but there will be more. Starting out here, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. First thing with the Eagles is I have them going 13-4. That is good enough to give them first in the NFC East. They did lose some guys, but overall, this team still is good. You got Jalen Hurts. You brought back most of the important offensive linemen. You went ahead. You didn't lose too much on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, you do have some younger guys that you're looking to step up, and I think they'll do that. So one player on the offense that I'm looking forward to seeing is Kenneth Gainwell. We've seen him last year, especially in the playoffs. Took a little bit more of a bigger role, and he honestly did pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see how he does with more of a chance to be the bell cow back or the RB1, I guess. Defensively, I'm going to be really looking forward to seeing Nakobe Dean. This is one of these young guys that I'm talking about on the defense that will need to step up. This guy from Georgia, really good linebacker at Georgia. They drafted him in the third round. He fell there because of his size, but with them sitting and learning for an entire year, I think he'll be able to slide right in and, almost have this is pretty much his rookie season, but he also had a year to learn behind one of the better linebacking groups last year that the Eagles had. You still have a good D-line here. You still kept Slay and Bradbury. So I don't think this defense is going to be bad by any means. Linebacker-wise, you are going to see a little bit of a decline, I think. But Nakobe Dean, I think, will be good. Next up, we have the New York Giants. I have the New York Giants going 7-10. That is good enough to give them third in the NFC East. And one player on offense that I am looking forward to watching is going to be Darren Waller. This guy was just brought over from the Raiders here. Honestly, it didn't cost them much, and it was a good trade because when you're looking at the Giants' offense, the one thing that people talk about is how one-dimensional it is. You're running the ball with Saquon. You're getting the ball to Saquon. Darren Waller is going to open up the field for Saquon, Wandale, and Jalen Hyatt. So Darren Waller is pretty much going to be your wide receiver one playing tight end. Good to get these mixed mismatches size and height-wise. On defense, the guy I'm looking forward to seeing is Deonte Banks. And reason being, this was the first-round pick. This was their corner. This personally was one of my favorite corners in this year's NFL draft. And, they really, in the draft, they addressed their needs. Deonte Banks, they needed a corner. They ended up taking Jalen Hyatt. They needed more wide receiver help. They ended up taking a center. They needed offensive line help. So the Giants secretly had a really good draft, in my opinion, and I think Deonte Banks is going to be really good this year. I don't know about winning Defensive Player of the Year, but I think that he will put up good numbers for where he was drafted. Overall, they're just in a division that's going to be hard for them to compete with Jalen Jones as their QB1. So that is the New York Giants. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys. I have the Cowboys going 12-5. That's good enough to give them second in the NFC East. Key players that I'm looking forward to watching on the offensive side of the ball is going to be Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks was the guy they brought in this offseason. When you're talking about the Cowboys offseason as a whole, draft was a little shaky, but when you're taking a look at the free agency, they really went ahead, and I like these two big moves. Brandon Cooks, they really needed another weapon outside of CeeDee Lamb, and I think they got this with Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is obviously not what he once was, but when you have him on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb, I think he's gonna pull off a little bit of pressure from CeeDee Lamb, and if he doesn't, Brandon Cooks is more than capable of being a good wide receiver too. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm looking forward to watching Stephon Gilmore. He was a corner that they brought in this offseason, like I was saying. Really good offseason for the Cowboys. Now you got a solid corner to back up Trayvon Diggs. Stephon Gilmore is not a scrub by any means. You can win with him. He's a good corner. Not what he once was, so I think him as a corner too is going to help. So as long as Trayvon Diggs stays healthy, I think the secondary is going to be even better this year. And offensively, as long as Dak limits the interceptions, now you got a new weapon in Brandon Cooks that'll help with the run game, CeeDee Lamb, and Brandon Cooks, honestly, if they don't want to respect him, he can burn you too. When it comes to the Washington Commanders, I have them going 3-14. That's good enough to give them 4th in the NFC East. This team, it's interesting. They got a lot of new people, especially on the offensive side of the ball, with Eric Bieniemy pretty much as their play caller on offense. So you're going to be learning a new offense. And when you're learning a new offense with a quarterback like Sam Howell, I just don't know if they're going to be able to compete with a lot of the teams that they face this year. Key players offensively is going to be Jahan Dotson. The reason for that is he quietly had a really good rookie season. Honestly, I could see him taking over the wide receiver 1 role from Scary Terry just because of the fact that, people know Scary Terry. Scary Terry is good, but Jahan Dotson's also good. So it's going to be hard to kind of guard them. They're kind of the same type of wide receiver. So it's going to be more of which one do you want to guard? Do you want to guard Scary Terry and get burned by Dotson? Do you want to guard Dotson and get burned by McLaurin? So that's why I have him as the key player on offense. And the key player on defense is going to be Chase Young. My reason being is they denied his 5th-year option. So he's going to be playing with a lot to prove, similar to how Josh Jacobs did. We've seen what Josh Jacobs was able to do when they pretty much told him, prove it. He proved it. Chase Young was a highly touted pick. I believe 2nd overall. I might be wrong on that, though, but I know he was top 5 pick. So I don't see why there's any reason why this guy can't prove it. So that is the entire NFC East. Overall, this is going to be a pretty much dog fight between the Eagles and Cowboys like it has been every year. So that's all we got for this video. I do want to take a moment and thank the Bump and Run podcast. They're the people that I got this idea from. Go ahead and check them out. They're on all major podcasting platforms. I'll have a link for them on Spotify in the description. They gave me this idea. I watched their podcast. Really good football content creators. So go ahead and check them out if you guys don't listen to them. But that's all we got in this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and sub for more Madden, GTA, and Red Dead content. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.